In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you the single most important thing to think about whenever you're making tattoo designs. What's up? I'm Brandon from Tattooing 101, and I've been tattooing for 13 years and own my own studio in the state of Tennessee. And this is how you add flow to your tattoo designs.
So before we get into the actual drawing, there's a couple things you need to understand whenever you are working with flow for tattoo designs. So I like Procreate a lot just because on an iPad you could pull up an actual reference of an arm or whatever you're tattooing on the body and be able to draw your reference lines for flow. So you want to think of the part of the body having little S shapes. So we're going to go to our sketcher. We're going to draw our reference lines going around the arm like this. So you want to focus on pretty much little S's, and that's going to create flow with your tattoo designs, having it go naturally with the body. Different areas of the body will have different kind of flow lines, but it'll basically be the same S shapes no matter where you're doing it on the body. So from there, we have our references. So now we could work on a design. I chose axe design for this tattoo design. So what we're going to do now is go to a different layer. I'm going to use my sketcher. And from here, I'm just going to sketch out where I want everything to be. So the top of the axe I'm going to have here between these two reference lines. And then the back's going to be right around here. Just pretty much sketching how I want it to look on the design. And then the axe handle I'm going to have come around and go right into this line right here. So this is the basic shape of the axe that we're going to do. And we're also going to add a little bit of smoke in the background just for a little added effect, and it'll look really cool with this design. So just going through here, sketching out the basics of this tattoo first with our sketcher. So you can see that it's flowing really nicely with the body. That's what you want to focus on whenever you are learning to draw for tattooing. And this is the thing that's probably the trickiest when it comes to learning how to draw. I've drawn my whole life, but drawing for tattoos is just different. So learning how to do this early in your career is definitely going to help you out a ton. Now from here, what I'm going to do is go to my other brush and do some smoke in the background. So this is what's going to make a background on the design and have it go really nicely with the body and showing all the flow lines in the background. So we're going to go with the S shapes right like this and just have some smoke go behind the design and just kind of work through it. So we'll have it come up like this and work around like this. So we're keeping with the same shape of everything. You could see that the S's flow this way, and we're just going naturally with that part. So it'll flow really nicely with the body. So now we have our references for our smoke. We could turn that opacity down. And now that we have the basics, we could get rid of this layer showing our reference line completely. So this is the basic for our design. This is a super sloppy reference at this point. Now we're going to go into our blue pencil and work on the second layer of our design. So we'll go with a blue pencil. This layer, it's still not going to be 100%. We're just going through and mapping out all the details and getting it ready for the last step. Work on our axe first, and then we'll go with the smoke. I like to do the backgrounds last just because with the axe we could always just delete the areas where the smoke's going to go over top of it, but we want the axe to look 100% because the smoke is just a background. So you don't want the main focal point to be on the smoke or it'll take away from the actual tattoo. Now we could focus on getting the smoke in there. And since we have our reference, we could go through, and we don't have to be exact. You know, you could add little wisps to it and little areas in the actual smoke to have it flow a little bit better. So you can see I added this little area on here. And we want to make sure that our lines match up on each side. You know, you don't want this line to go through and then be clear up here. It just won't make sense. So I like to draw lines through my actual tattoo design just to make sure that all of these areas make sense and it lines up perfectly with the actual design. Cool, so from here we can get rid of these layers. This is going to be our last step to completing our tattoo design. So we'll go through, turn the opacity down on our blue, and go through with our final liner. Now, of course, with the actual tattoo, this smoke's going to be shading. But for the stencil process, we're going to line this out just so we know exactly where the shading needs to be. Okay, right like that. So now we have the smoke in the background, we can work on our axe. And you can see that since I did the smoke first on this one, I could just follow these lines and I don't have to go back and erase anything. You just want to make sure that you're following all your guidelines. That's why we go through those first two steps, just to make your final a whole lot easier, and it can be done really quick and nice and clean since you already know exactly where everything needs to go. And now we could turn down our pencil and then just do some wood grain in the axe, and that'll complete our design. Now we could take away the blue layer, and this is how I draw with flow for tattoo designs to have it go naturally with the body.